Howdy, y'all, and welcome to the EEARSS Podcast, produced by Terrier TV. I am Frank Robb. That is Bill, that is Cindy, and that's Sierra. What's happening, guys? How goes it?
Okay, you did this to me again. When I start, you always, for those of you at home, listening at home, he always tells our guest, he says, okay, I'm going to have a talk with, Cindy and Bill, and we're going to have a thing going. So I always start off with the 3-shot. The guest is not in the shot. And he always then says, and this person, who, if you're watching it on TV, you can't see them.
She is over here.
Yes, they are there. They do exist. But you tell me it's just going to be the three of us. And I know we said we were going to mention them, so if they want to say something, they could say something.
Correct.
I understand that. But
Yes,
I'm a little grumpy today. And so it's
he's developing some trust issues with you, Frank.
No.
So I should roll into it a little bit
You
slower?
should. You should. A little slower.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can do that.
Why are you grumpy? You're never grumpy.
No.
I'm grumpy.
Well,
You're never grumpy.
The University of Central Florida was in the NIT basketball tournament.
What does NIT stand for?
I think it's the National Invitation Tournament.
Okay, honestly,
it was originally run by Madison Square Garden.
Wait, so this is March Madness we're in right now?
Yes.
Has that already started?
Yeah,
The
these are words I know.
NCAA starts on Thursday.
Oh, okay, so it's not started
I
yet.
understand
it starts
completely.
tomorrow.
So the NIT is before that.
Well, the NIT is a tournament of 32 teams that is made up of people who didn't make the 64 for the NCAA. So UCF.
So these are the teams that were left out.
Right. So UCF got an invitation to this, and they were playing South Florida, and they haven't played South Florida all year because they're in a new conference, and so they don't play their rival. They get to play them in a tournament, but it was a 9:00 game. And
the audacity.
And it's a game on ESPN. And I know that you're a big sports fan and you spend a lot of time watching. So
Thank you for recognizing that.
I know.
Yeah.
So you know that ESPN has the longest commercials known to man.
Yes,
And
that is a fact I know.
a basketball game usually lasts 2 hours. We're 2.5 hours into this thing. And I'm looking at my watch and I'm telling my brother, I ain't getting home till after midnight. And he's like, yeah, you're not. And I got to get up at 6, man. And then I had to go get, blood work this morning. And so it's
you were eating?
I did have, fasting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I did have a little nap after lunch today. But
you do have a right to be grumpy, I guess.
But yeah, it's just, it's not.
You see, I clocked that one fast.
Yeah.
Blood work. You did not eat.
Yes.
That's
See,
reason
you went straight
enough
to
to
it.
be grumpy.
Yes, you went
Hangry.
straight to it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So anyway, that's where we are.
Well, I was just shocked when I showed up that you were wearing a green T-shirt because that's
Wearing
not
a
a
green
very
shirt?
often.
I let him down.
I know. See, she wore green last time, and I thought, well, maybe. Actually, I bought a new shirt, and it was like, because I had see, there you go. I don't know, if you go back, people at home, if you go back and look, the last probably 10 episodes, I've been wearing the same shirt, and so I was like, I want to change it up.
We often show up wearing the same thing,
color.
and it gives
The
Frank a
same-
complex
I
that
never
he's been
do.
left out of.
No,
the
I
rest.
try. I
and
do
there are
try
no
sometimes.
emails. There are nothing goes through. It just
Sure.
happens.
Well, there's emails, but not about that.
Not about wardrobe.
Yeah, the
Not
wardrobe
about
never comes up. We always have, we go through the stuff with the guests,
Yeah.
and we talk about the guests bringing things and where to show up at and stuff like that. But we never get into wardrobe.
No.
But you guys wear the
Just
same
kinda show up.
color or same thing?
No. Well,
Because
You know how I like to wear dresses. Well, so does
yes,
Bill.
I was
Yeah,
like,
so there we
we
go.
often show
yes, in the same dress.
typically the same color.
I don't wear the boots. I can't pull the boots off.
You
Have you
haven't tried.
yeah.
That's true. I have not
haven't
tried.
tried.
That's true.
I wear
I
boots some
have
days,
not tried. Well, yeah.
Some
yeah,
days.
Uh-huh.
but it always ends up with me being barefoot at the end.
I have not worn boots. Do you know that drives my mother
Aren't
crazy?
you glad you
My mother
agreed
watches the show
to come
and
on
she's
this
like,
show, Sierra Thompson?
Well,
So-
honestly, when I saw no shoes, I was like, we're good.
You're
Like,
good.
I'm so comfortable
You
now.
fit right in.
Well,
Yep.
well, the guest we just had on, Mr. and Mrs. Outlaw, she walked up before he did, and she goes, "Oh man, he didn't show up dressed fancy enough." And she goes, "Well, never mind, you're barefooted." And I said, "Exactly. It all works. It evens itself out."
That's right. It all, yep.
There's something to that.
It does.
So, did UCF win?
No, that's the other part. They lost, and they did not look good. In my opinion, Now, other people may think I thought, man, they just so many unforced errors, and they didn't lose by a lot. They only lost by 6, I think.
So that they're done for the year now.
That's it. It's done. The season's done for them, and
so there's no madness.
Well, not for them, but there is madness for 64 other teams.
Okay, so explain to me one other thing, because you're the basketball guru.
Okay, if you say so.
No, you watch a lot of basketball.
I do. I do.
Why? Okay, I mean, I get the idea that there's 64 teams.
Right.
I understand that part about it. And
That's
I know
also how I describe sports. I get the idea.
Well,
I get it.
And there's 4 different groups that break up these 64 teams, right?
Well, they break them up into regions, yeah.
Yeah, so 4 different regions.
Yeah, north, south, east, and west.
Okay, so you break down the different regions into different things, and there's 1 through 16 on each of those seeds, or each of those different conferences, right?
Yes.
Because
right.
it equals 64.
Yep.
I did some math. It was crazy.
There you go.
Why is there this giant insanity, madness? Why is there this madness involved behind? What's the huge draw? Maybe that's what I'm asking.
Okay. The thing about the tournament is, there are basketball conferences. First off, in football, you have a little bit over 100 schools in the nation. In basketball, there's 300 and something schools that play Division I basketball. Because you only need 12 guys.
So it's that 64 really narrows it down.
And it does. And and you have automatic. If you win your conference championship, you get an automatic bid. You get to go. Stetson, first time in their history, they have won their conference, and they have a bid they get to go play in the NCAA tournament. Now they have to play the number 1 seed, North Carolina, in the first round.
But there's
so
a
we'll see how that
possibility.
goes.
There's another term that gets thrown out a lot.
Right.
Is the term Cinderella story.
The Cinderella, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Which
because what they do when they put these teams into the bracket, they seed them.
Ooh, they're bracket busters.
Well, what you have is, that's because people do brackets. They predict how the brackets are going to go.
Yes.
And do you have you put your bracket in? Have you done it?
No,
Yes.
Cindy.
But
legit,
I won't share.
I want you to do a bracket. Because I want it. So does this really start tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow, yeah.
Oh, I'll do it.
If I send you one, will you put one together?
Oh, absolutely.
You should.
Crazy?
It's gonna be insanity though. It's
No,
gonna be
most
like,
of the time, people that don't have any idea
colors,
actually do good.
I like
Right?
their.
Oh, yeah. Or you look at their mascots. Which mascot would be
Most
the
of the
other
time,
mascot?
the people that have no idea do really good.
I will go out of my way to root for whoever is supposed to rank dead last. That is who I will become their champion. I will be their
You're the
biggest
underdog?
fan. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh
my niece is
gosh.
like that. She does that, and she does well. It's like, how did you pick them to go all that way?
Well, that bird can beat that tiger.
That's right.
Or
Exactly.
wait a minute, that
Yes.
snake over there can definitely take out that bear.
Yeah.
It's
so there you go. And
that's-
that's the way it works.
Usually, it's somehow that's how you get the bracket busters and
Oh, yeah.
the Cinderella stories.
We do a thing with the football bowls, and 1 year
Oh, that's quite a bit. That'd be quite a bit of fun too.
I had a teacher's aide who was helping me, and I just gave her the bracket and said, "Here you go, fill it out." I don't care because I didn't have any
I
time.
don't care.
And I looked at it, and she had one game that I went, "There's no way this can happen." So I crossed that one off.
Oh, Bill.
And fixed that.
Oh my god.
Okay. If I had
She was
not,
right, wasn't
oh, she was. She was right, and it would have won me 3rd place. I would have made money on the deal.
Wow.
And what
But
lesson did you learn?
I don't change it anymore. If I give it to a student
chauvinism,
and I
Bill.
let them do that, she had Alabama losing to somebody, and it was like, no, that's not going to happen.
Well, and then they did.
And it did, yeah.
That's
Here's
the
the
reason I
thing,
want to see
though.
you do this.
If I do, I have
You should, yeah.
a very major personality flaw. I have many personality flaws, but this one in particular, I am extremely competitive.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
So
yeah,
if I do
likewise.
it, my entire personality leading up to that is going to become researching stats and watching videos.
No, it's
and
better
I
if you
will
do it
learn.
You don't have a choice to
I
do.
will
You,
learn
No.
everything.
you
It's
can't.
better if you do
You
it
got
for
one
one.
night.
You
You
got
literally
one
got
night.
to do
You
it
can't
tonight.
You
do it.
underestimate what I can learn in one night, Frank.
But
Cindy,
no, it's better
what-
if you just go in blind.
How many
No.
people are on a basketball team on the field or on the court at one time? See what I mean? Don't worry about it. Just fill the
So-
things out.
So here's the thing.
Didn't you
Did you
just
say
say it was
12?
12?
No, no,
Oh.
no. It's 5.
12. They carry 12 on
Oh,
the
okay.
team.
Yeah,
Here's,
five
here's
players.
the
on
thing.
on the court.
While not
That was good listening.
actively
It was.
watching
Good job.
sports and while not knowing anything about current teams, I do know certain mechanics because I was a cheerleader. I did
There you go,
attend
okay.
a lot of sporting events.
Awesome.
I am capable of observation.
the USF cheerleaders, they had signs. They brought signs with them, and they set them down on the floor. And one of the signs said "touchdown," and I'm like,
Wrong one.
I wonder what
Awesome.
it must say something better on the other side. That
Oh.
must not be the one that they want.
Think about how awesome that would have been if they would have used that one.
But
though.
I'm
That would've been
thinking,
great.
I'm thinking, okay,
every 6 or 7 points, they throw it up.
yeah, touchdown.
Oh, even better.
Do
not
the-
every hoop, just every
Yeah.
6 or 7.
Yeah, every 6 or 7 points.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it was an interesting night.
Oh Lord. Okay, that was a interesting rabbit hole, and I'm very
It
happy
was.
we went there.
Thank you
Good
for
stuff.
coming to talk
Yes,
sports with us.
I-
Yes.
I
Yes,
grew up
Sierra.
I grew up in North Carolina,
Okay.
so Duke and UNC and
Right.
blah blah blah. I hated basketball growing
Oh
up.
yeah. So now, were you in
Yes.
the Raleigh area, or were you? In,
I was in Fayetteville, so right
Okay.
south of Raleigh.
Okay.
But yeah, it was. We had to do brackets all through middle school, and I was like, I do not care. It made me
Yeah.
dislike basketball even more
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can
because
see
it
that.
made
sorry.
me forced me
I'm
to
sorry.
the whole March Madness thing was like
But
was
you did.
everybody's personality during March.
You did go to
And, yeah.
UCF, right?
I did.
You did your grad stuff there.
Yes, virtually. I went on
Okay.
campus one time, and it was so
Oh.
huge that
Yeah,
I
it
got
is huge.
scared.
Oh, it is huge.
It's no joke.
Because
Yeah.
I went to Appalachian State for my undergrad, and that is in a valley, and it
Oh, yeah.
has 17,000
They're in
students.
Boone.
Yes, in Boone.
Now, when you were there in Boone,
Mm-hmm.
did they have the big windmill, the big propeller? No, you're looking, so they did.
Right.
I'm
'Cause
like,
In the
What?
1980s, NASA put up this big wind turbine thing in Boone, because in Boone it's always windy.
mm-hmm.
It's very windy, and so they put up this big wind turbine thing, and it was experimental. It was a NASA thing that they were doing, and the problem was, it was so loud.
Oh.
Every time it would, because it was just 2 blades, and every time it would go by, it would go like woo, and
That's so scary.
and they put it like right in town, and people were like, oh. So yeah, it didn't last long. They got
No.
rid of it. but-
Also creepy with like the Appalachian Trail. Like
Right.
you don't want
Yeah.
that noise
Right.
just
Yeah.
echoing across the valley.
right, yeah.
Thank you.
Calling all the Bigfoots.
Yes.
Yes, it's
Yes.
calling all the Bigfoots. And
Yeah.
in
Oh, I
fact,
bet that's
yes.
exactly what their NASA
That's what
experiment
NASA was doing, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the
Call that guy. That was
it's
here.
the what was the sound it was making, Bill?
That's so
Woo.
creepy.
Woo.
It is
Yeah,
the
big
it is
woo.
the woo.
The big woo.
It is the woo.
The woo.
It all ties together.
It all
We
it's
talked
all coming together.
we talked about the woo for a second. No, we actually didn't talk. We talked about it off the air because that was some scary stuff. The woo.
Oh, that's right, the woo.
Yeah, that's the paranormal side of Bigfoot.
Eh.
Don't ask me.
Yeah,
Uh,
don't ask him.
I-
Don't ask him.
I
Ask me all about it.
did you actually look into it? Did you actually look it up?
Of course I
Oh
did,
my
Frank.
garage!
Oh,
Yeah.
she's into that.
Did I look something? Yes.
The only way that you could get her not interested in Bigfoot is if he dressed as a clown. Then she wouldn't be interested.
He went there.
I did. I went
Bill
straight,
just went straight to
the
it.
jugular.
I was like,
You
holy
are grumpy today.
I was like, man, I was
Wow.
my eyes went this big. I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
Bill just jumped right in.
Okay.
Clowns.
It's fine. It's fine, Bill.
Don't yeah. Oh man, we're gonna just pass by this subject and jump right into the next one. So today in the podcast, we are blessed to be joined by Sierra Thompson with the Women's Center of Brevard. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Sorry. Okay. I'm better.
Her official job title is Queen of Everything. That is
Really?
yes. We're
Wish.
reprinting all of her business
Her
cards.
business cards.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't read her name tag from here. Is that what it
well,
says?
you
Yeah,
can't.
that's how
you
tiny
can't
the-
because there's
It gets very small. Yes.
her title
say.
involves so many words.
I was going to say.
She
you
does
guys,
so
like,
many things.
Do you guys do some optometry stuff on the side? You're like
Yeah,
an eye
just
chart?
add
If you can read this, you're fine.
That's actually exactly what it is.
Oh my garage.
We were sponsored by.
Yes.
Yes. Dr. Kutrib or something was like,
Yes.
Yes.
He actually
there you
is.
go.
He
Yeah.
is a supporter.
this all makes very much
There you
sense
go.
now. Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. Oh, Lord.
Just saying.
So tell us a little bit about what you do for the Women's Center.
So yes, I'm the Director of Volunteer Management and Strategic Initiatives. So all of that means that I coordinate and recruit all of our volunteers, manage our volunteer program for the center. I coordinate our prevention education program, our outreach, and now our 2 new fundraisers, our fundraising team.
Awesome.
Yes.
How did you get into doing this?
So I was thinking about this because I watched another podcast you guys were doing, and I was listening to her story. And I find it so interesting how people get to where they are.
Oh yeah.
That's the
And-
most fun of doing a podcast we have found is just
Yes.
truly enjoying people's stories. Is everybody's got a unique one. It's really neat.
And I think what I hear a lot is people didn't know what they wanted to do, went to college and just chose a program and
Winged it.
winged it.
Yeah.
I had the exact opposite experience. I knew exactly what I wanted to do right out of high school. Even in high school, I knew I wanted to, at the time, run nonprofits because I didn't know a thing about nonprofits, and I thought you could just run them or own
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I think I wanted to own one. That's what it was. And so I knew I wanted to go to school to learn how to help nonprofits succeed. Like that has always been my goal. So I knew I took a couple of classes in like social work and sociology, and I was like, not social work. Because I knew I'm way too empathetic and I can't do what our advocates do every day and be on the front line 24/7 like that. I am not empathetically capable of doing that. I would crumble. I do partake in some of our advocacy. I take a couple shifts a month so I can keep up on training and things like that. But I knew that wasn't for me, and I knew I could help nonprofits be successful. So I took sociology for my undergrad and family and intimate relationships, and took some women's studies courses so that I could work in human services type nonprofits.
Okay.
So I knew all that. I knew exactly what I was doing. And then a master's program I found at UCF for nonprofit management. And
When you said help nonprofits profits succeed, what does that entail?
yeah, so the back end. So you have all your frontline workers that are providing the support, providing the help to individuals, animals, whatever it was. I wanted to be on the back end on the admin side, helping raise funds, coordinate volunteers, get the message out there. So the outreach aspect of it, making sure the community knows about the resources and knows how to get to them. Those pieces. So on the back end, grant writing, how to get funds in, how to diversify funding as well. So making sure we're not wholly dependent on government, because that fluctuates, as we have learned firsthand, but also knowing that fluctuates. So I wanted to make sure funding within nonprofits and helping them succeed in those ways as well.
What is your favorite part of your job?
The outreach and education piece.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I forget about it until I'm there. I get pretty nervous and anxious speaking in front of people or being out in the public. But then when I'm there, I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome and amazing. And that's why I love doing it. So yeah, definitely the education and outreach.
For people that are listening that don't know, can you tell us a little bit about the violence prevention education and things like that the Women's Center does?
Yeah. So the violence prevention education, I like to say the Women's Center provides support to survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault after something has happened. But we want to get ahead of the problem and teach people how to love better. So our prevention education program, we teach 4th grade and up exactly how to do that. So we go into the schools, aftercare programs, summer camps, colleges, as well as some organizations and cities. And we talk about healthy and unhealthy relationship behaviors, what those look like, how to apply them to different types of ships. So not just romantic partnerships, but friendships, co-workerships, parent, teacher, all of those different relationships you have in your life, how to identify healthy behaviors and unhealthy, and turn your unhealthy behaviors into healthy behaviors. So that's a piece of it that we find super important. We do that again for 4th grade and up, and we also teach that to our support group clients. So we go in and talk to them about that, and they have said to us multiple times, I wish I would have known this in high school. it probably would have helped me get out of the situation I was in or prevent me from being in the situation I got into.
That's some tough stuff. That's awesome. You guys are doing that. It's like I can't even begin to imagine. What drew you to the Women's Center originally?
Fate.
So I think like pretty much everybody who goes to this type of work is some personal experience, right? So I grew up in a household with domestic violence from 6 weeks old to 10 years old. I had an abusive stepfather. And I watched my mom kick butt to get out of that. And then her work for the Rape Crisis Center in our town. And then I started working for and volunteering for our Rape Crisis Center. And then I was just always leaned towards advocacy. So when we moved to Melbourne to Florida, first thing I did was get online on Google and I searched, I don't know if I looked up women's centers or I looked up like domestic violence places, and Women's Center popped up and I applied to volunteer and I started interning, and then it was the best place ever. It was so welcoming. They're so supportive. Even as an intern, like I was watching the employees have hard days and be told, hey, why are you still here? To go home, take a break, like take care of yourself. We can't help others if we can't help ourselves. And just the environment and the dynamic was so positive and they were doing so much good. I was like, I need to be here. So after my internship ended, about 3 years went by. I had some other jobs, and when the job finally opened, I applied, and they brought me back because I wanted to be here. I knew the mission was important and the environment was great.
So how long have you been doing it?
Working at the Women's Center now? It'll be 5 years on April 5th, I think.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I tell Cindy this all the time, but yeah, you guys are superheroes. There's no doubt about it.
The advocates are for sure, and the counselors.
Everybody that's part of that program at every
Yes.
level. What you guys are doing is vitally important, and it's saving people's lives. I mean, it truly is. Yep. Wow. Goodness gracious, it's a lot. What does the Women's Center need? How can people help, and where do they go to find help?
So a big part of what I do is volunteer coordination. So we need volunteer support. And I kind of always talk about our volunteer programs in a tier. So we go from like the most in-depth client interaction to the least client interaction, because there's people who want to support our mission, but they're not able to interact with survivors. Maybe for whatever reason that might be. Not comfortable, maybe have their own experience, they're not ready for that. So we have all different opportunities for people to support, but the two biggest needs that we have for volunteers are the highest client interaction, the highest interaction, and that's our sexual assault victim advocates and our domestic violence victim advocate volunteers. Those are our highest need for volunteers, and they go into the hospitals to provide support during a sexual assault exam. Sorry, wrong pause. They support during a forensic exam the survivor, and then our domestic violence advocates go into the courthouse and help people file petitions for protection.
Wow.
Is there any kind of prior experience that's needed for that?
So it is helpful if you have had experience in like social work or even studying sociology or psychology, just so that you understand the dynamics of domestic violence and sexual assault and why people stay in those type of scenarios or how those things can happen. But we also provide a lot of training. So we have a 30 and 40-hour training for those two programs that's online that teaches you how to be an advocate, how to recognize signs and behaviors, and how to help support them. So we have a very in-depth training program that includes shadowing and background screenings as well.
Amazing. Where do people go to find you and these opportunities?
Yeah, so at womenscenter.net, under ways to give with time, their little drop down there, you can find a list of all of our volunteer opportunities, including the less intricate positions such as intake. Outreach is huge, so we sign up for all types of events across the community, and we need volunteer support to be at those events. So just sharing information about what we do. And at our thrift stores too, we do need support at our thrift stores. They were just telling me today they would really like she was mopping when I dropped stuff off, and she was like, can we get someone to sweep and mop, please? That would be super helpful. So all types of things that people can volunteer for.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of those events that you have coming up?
Oh, yes. Thank you. So April is...
not that I know of any. If you have some.
If you happen.
Yes. So with Outreach, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So we have several events, and I brought my calendar because I wanted to tell you guys when they were. So, of course, we have our standard support groups going on throughout the month, and you can check those out at our website. And then we have a couple of yoga studios we've worked with the past few years where they do yoga in denim or yoga for a cause with us. So there's Denim Day, if you're not familiar with what that is. So just briefly, in Denim Day in Italy, a woman was tried or was going to court for a sexual assault that happened to her. The judge ruled that it did not happen because she was wearing jeans that were too tight. So she had to help take them off, therefore she consented. And because of this ruling... Yes,
that is the appropriate reaction to that, Frank.
Okay.
Couldn't have been sexual assault. Your jeans are too tight. You must have helped take them out.
Yes.
What?
So in solidarity and support...
Don't know how that correlates with anything, but
yes.
Okay.
The members...
That's terrible.
In Italy showed up the next day from the court system. All the women showed up wearing denim in protest. And that is now Denim Day. So
Wow, I did not know that.
Yes, so at the end of April, I don't think that's on this calendar, so I don't know the date, but in the last week of April, we wear denim in support, and then a few yoga places do yoga in denim to show us if you can do yoga in denim. That doesn't give consent. It's a visual representation. And so we have Yogi Pierogi doing a yoga for a cause with us on the 17th. And
is that a person?
I wish.
Oh.
The Yogi Pierogi is a yoga studio.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait. I'm
in
like,
Melbourne. We have some yoga studios doing free yoga.
I was like,
us.
did somebody change their name to
something?
That would be amazing. And then Sun Chaser Yoga is doing that for us in West Melbourne on the 24th.
Okay.
We have some financial wellness classes going on and a couple other events and outreach and stuff, but that will also be posted on our social media, a link to a little website for you to see all the happenings for Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Okay, yeah, if you buzz those to me too, I'll make sure that goes in the notes with
nice.
this so people can find that. That's very important. Say you got somebody on the fence that's on the fence like, man, should I volunteer? Should I not volunteer? What could you say to encourage them?
Check us out. So if you fill out a volunteer application through the website, we have a monthly orientation. It is virtual, so you can join from anywhere. It's usually the third Friday of every month from 3 p.m. to 4:15. It will actually be this Friday, the 22nd, for March, but it is usually the third Friday, so they can come out to orientation and learn more about all of the opportunities. And also, I encourage people to share their talent, because just because it doesn't match the list of opportunities we have, that doesn't mean it's not something we need currently. And so you might have a skill to offer that we can utilize.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Thank you.
You did great. Yeah, I know. I think I speak for all three of us when I tell you what you're doing is incredibly important, and thank you. Thank you for what you're doing.
Well, thank you guys for letting us come on and talk about it.
It's always fun. It's always it's something. We do this with quite a few people talking about their causes, and some of them are fun, some of them are some of them are heartwarming, and then you get groups like y'all where it's like this is it's so vitally important. I don't even know that there's the correct terminology to put out there how important what you guys do is to the community, and I don't know. Thank you. So yeah, thank you a bunch. Yeah. All right, you want to jump into trivia?
Oh,
sounds like a plan.
Do you have a topic, a trivia topic, or is it a bunch of strange things?
I was thoroughly confused at 11:30 at night last night when I was remembering to do this. So I have a whole bunch of things.
Okay, awesome.
Hey.
So it's a
potpourri.
Oh,
These are all questions for Cindy. Cindy will get them all.
She probably will, actually.
Good.
So a lot of them are related to the Women's Center topics, but
okay.
they jump
Finally,
around.
I have the upper hand.
There we go.
Remind me what your favorite word is?
Indubitably.
Copy that. Yes.
Nice.
It was bound to happen.
Golly.
Indubitably.
Yes. And
Okay, Sherlock. There we go.
well done, Cindy. You even dropped it twice. It was great.
Thanks, Frank.
Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't a setup. Wasn't a softball
Yeah.
or anything. No.
That felt natural.
Yes.
Oh, I was like, well, I'm like, we're 30 minutes in. If she hasn't dropped it yet, she needs a layup. Let me
There you
lay it out
There
there.
you go.
Hey, basketball, bring it back.
Yep, back to
Oh,
basketball. There we go.
fair
Hey.
enough. Yes, I liked it. There was like even a little square and everything. She hit it from an angle and it went in. Yeah.
If you're wondering, this is what every meeting at work that involves me and Sierra is like. Just
Yes.
Just randomness.
yeah.
I love it.
We might make it back to the original
Right,
point
yeah.
at some time.
That's solid. That's what you hope for any group of
And
people
yet
meeting.
work gets done.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense because there's things in between that. Basketball's not the only thing, Bill.
Yeah,
God,
you're
Bill.
right. I know. I wish I
Jeez,
would get
buddy.
off of it. You know.
Jeez, man. All right. I digress, ma'am. Go right ahead.
All right. I might jump around because there's some not 17
Whoa,
pages.
you went all
No.
in.
She wrote a
Like,
thesis
I
on
have-
this, man. What
And
is
that is all you need to know about
That's
Sierra.
pretty much. Literally every time I sit down with my supervisor, I'm like, and she's like, of course you did.
You give her a task, she is going to perform.
Does
Bill
it have
said-
an index at the end?
You are, yeah, it
Yes.
probably does.
Is there a glossary of terms and a word search?
Like I did copy and paste like
There's
a whole
It
pictures.
is.
article.
It's
no,
color
this is,
coded. It is.
no.
Pictures?
I brought this for my reminders.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
That's
this is
my-
amazing.
That's my reminder note.
Okay.
I've never seen anybody bring a setup like that to a podcast. That is the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no joke. This is great. We should leave it sitting to the side for me to take a picture of to send the next guest to.
Yes.
These are
This
things
is
to live
the
up to.
standard.
I
This
guess.
is where you have to be.
I can't wait to see how disappointed you are by these trivia questions. What is 1 + 1?
7. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I know this one. Give me a second.
Okay, go right ahead, man.
All right, so I didn't talk about these, so this is just really a shot in the dark. So,
Here we go.
so one thing that we do in prevention education is also bystander intervention. So you guys look thoroughly confused and don't even know what that is. So this
Well,
question will be
Sierra,
good.
what is bystander intervention?
We do bystander intervention also with the city of Palm Bay. Just getting layups after layups.
No, do it. Yeah, do it. Yeah.
That's an alley-oop.
There you
If
go.
we're in the basketball thing, yes.
So we do bystander intervention as well for like the city of Palm Bay. So we go in and teach them how if you see something, say something. If you're a bystander and you see something happening, if you say something, it's less likely to turn into a violent situation and create an environment where violence is not allowed. So within that, we teach the 6 keys to bystander intervention. So there are 6 techniques to intervening
Okay.
in bystander situations.
Okay.
It sounds
So-
like
Oh,
this is
you're
way
asking
too-
for them.
So now I'm going to ask them.
Oh, okay.
I think you must recuse yourself.
I am
here.
recusing myself, yes.
So if you had to, they're just one word each.
Okay.
Say something. Well, speak up. I don't know.
No, hold on. She's got to give you the specifics.
So
here.
I was just going to say, what are 3 of the 6 keys of bystander intervention? So just have to name 3 of the 6. And
There
you
you
know
go.
none of
Yep. Talking. Saying something. Speaking up.
Yes.
Being vocal.
So that would be direct. Yes.
Mhm.
That would be the direct key. Saying something.
Calling someone.
Okay.
That counts.
And that would
As-
be
The other D.
delegate.
Delegate.
Oh, they're all D's, by the way.
Oh,
My bad.
okay.
That also
That's
would be
important.
helpful
By
to
the
know.
way.
Sorry, they all start with the letter D. I told you, so much preparation.
So it was saying something,
Which was directly getting involved,
Direct,
calling
okay.
someone,
delegating.
or why would you talk about it later? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
That was
It
amazing.
does
That
make
was-
sense.
It does make
That
sense.
was
Frank.
amazing. Yes, delay.
Oh, well, I
Delay.
mean, isn't delaying kind of like delaying the problem?
No. So sometimes the biggest point of our bystander intervention is sometimes it is not safe to intervene.
Oh, okay.
So
That
the
makes sense.
biggest piece
Okay.
of bystander intervention is doing it safely.
Okay.
And so if it's not safe to intervene at the time or you're not feeling comfortable, you can go later and check in on the person and delay.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Hmm.
All
Very good.
right. So also going along with our bystander intervention, this is a point that we bring to our to organizations. What is the total administrative cost of alleged sexual harassment? Oh my gosh. What is the total administrative cost of alleged sexual harassment?
In like Brevard or
just in the workplace.
In
general,
the
I think.
workplace.
I will also recuse myself, but I will say think high.
Yes,
Oh,
and this
okay.
is like for 1 year. What is the total administrative cost of
Like
alleged sexual harassment with cost and resolution
across the country or just for like each business?
across the country?
Across
like,
the country.
well,
Nationwide.
yeah, I think nationwide.
Nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
It's more. It's
1.2 billion.
see. I was gonna say probably.
That's where I'm going.
It probably is now.
Yeah, let's say it's probably 500 million.
Okay, what do we got?
Okay, so it was 57 million in 2018,
Okay.
and then there was 13.8 million in legal costs.
Holy
Okay.
moly!
So now, has that? Did the pandemic change any of that at all?
I'm sure it did.
It
I
did.
imagine
it made
Are
it-
the
made it-
reports out yet? No. Can
Right.
we tell you firsthand it did? Yes.
I'm sure it made it worse.
absolutely.
So what did
Mhm.
it do? What's the effect?
Any kind of violence you can think of skyrocketed
Okay.
because people, for a lot of reasons, but when it comes to different types of workplace violence, a lot of people felt trapped in their jobs.
Oh,
They've
okay.
Mhm.
They were
Right.
scared to think about leaving a job, so that
Yeah.
gives people who are in power, that are abusive, it gives them the feeling that they have the upper hand.
Oh yeah. They're yeah.
And
Nobody
then-
can challenge them.
And then how do you escape when it's virtual too? So now it's in your home,
Right.
right? When you start working remote.
And we heard a
Okay.
lot more of people that weren't virtual, but were working in organizations where a
Mhm.
lot of the other roles did go virtual. So there are less people in the
Mhm.
office.
Oh.
They are far more vulnerable
Right.
if there are fewer
There's
witnesses.
less people to temper everything. and
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yikes!
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So
Do we have a happy one?
I know. Let's
That-
see. No. Actually,
That's the answer to
No.
the question.
No.
No.
So matter of factly too.
So
all right.
No.
Yes. Okay. So, this I think is a good one.
Bill. Oh man.
It is related to the topic at hand somewhat. What percentage of U.S. high schoolers say they are interested in volunteering for a nonprofit?
I'd probably say.
Oh, I can give you some answer choices.
Oh, we have multiple
Yes,
choices on this
yes.
one.
Okay.
okay.
25%, 50%, or 70%.
B.
Oh, you're going right in the middle. I see.
Yeah,
see.
he's
I was
good.
gonna say 50 either way.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go C.
I'll go
So
A.
we're talking about high
A.
schoolers, so
Oh.
probably A.
I work with high schoolers. They're lying.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
The answer is 70%,
Yes, and they
Yeah.
are lying.
Yes.
which does represent a larger picture too. So most people would say, yes, I would volunteer for a
Sure.
nonprofit.
I know one in
Well-
particular that is going to be volunteering this summer
Well,
because she
With
does-
bright futures
it,
and everything.
it won't be necessarily voluntarily, but
Well,
they
you
call
know,
that voluntold.
With-
she'll be there.
with bright futures and everything, it really
Yes.
has
Mhm.
Yep.
gotten a lot of our high school kids to think about volunteering and being out in the community and helping.
It's such an amazing way to get out there and to get ideas about what you might want to do for work.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I wanted to. I wasn't a teenager. I was an adult, but I started as a volunteer and
Right.
then
Yep.
fell in love and never left.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
We'll have to get your daughter to catch an alligator.
That's something she would willingly do.
Yeah, she'd be all about it.
See, you got to find the right volunteer opportunity for you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not
And
for everybody.
that's-
It's not for everybody. Nothing. Well, you know, it's all. You can say that about so many different groups, but if you can find your piece of the puzzle, it's once you're in, you're in.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful thing.
Try it out and see where you fit.
It's true.
So,
It's how we learn.
based on your expectation of how true or not that is, what percentage of young people aged 16 to 19 actually volunteer? 26%, 36%, or 46%?
I'll say A.
Yep.
I'd say 36.
Let's see.
That's B.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, it's like a written out answer
Oh, sorry.
that I found.
Oh.
So I was like trying to find the answer. I was like, where is it? Only 26%. A.
Okay.
That's terrible. I'm sorry. I don't know why I raised
Well,
my hand
yeah,
like in victory.
But with that, I would say there are a lot of volunteer opportunities out there, like the two that we have the highest need for that aren't appropriate for teens.
Right.
And there
Right.
is a lot out there that's just not a good fit for that teenage. So there's, I think, a lot of pressure on nonprofits to, you need volunteers. Here's a whole pool of them. And it's like,
It doesn't quite work that way.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's that. And I have many more. If you guys want anything else, I
hit
can
us
keep
hit us with one
going.
more.
Okay.
Pick your favorite.
Okay, let's go with...
The pressure's on now.
I know which one I want to ask. What percentage of nonprofit board positions are occupied by people under the age of 40?
Ooh, very low.
And I have...
Very low.
And I have answer choices. If
Say
you want them.
for me, it's 60% of my board.
Really?
Are under 40?
We are
Wow.
we
No.
are struggling to recruit people under. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
I
I would say it's probably very low for most. I'd imagine 10%.
So yeah, the answers are 10%, 17%, or 25%.
10%.
17 seemed
17.
a little, it's a little on the nose there.
Yeah.
17.
17%.
Yeah, so 17%.
Makes sense.
Yeah, see, now if you said
Yeah.
11% and then 17%,
No.
then that might have gotten me. I might have gone, okay, maybe 11.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Too
Okay.
He writes tests.
Yeah.
He does right. He is a teacher here.
Well, I might have just learned a thing or two.
There you go.
Sierra, thank you so much for coming on here and joining us. Again, if somebody wants to volunteer, tell them how to find you guys.
Yes, go to womencenter.net under Ways to Give with Time.
Really appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for what you do. Can't say thank you enough. Bill, Cindy,
Yes, sir.
another one down.
You remember the drill.
Oh, I guess I do.
Yeah. You gotta do it.
Does he?
Does he? Yeah, that's
Do I do it in a March Madness theme?
That's completely up to you, buddy.
Thank you all for tuning in to the EEARSS Podcast. You can find us on all
Lord,
platforms by searching EEARSS,
You did this.
EEARSS. You can. I yelled into the camera.
Don't
It is
push.
what it is.
You did. You
I know.
yelled.
It is what it is. But they were
That's it.
excited because it's March Madness.
They were excited.
Now,
They were excited.
This thing is going to play in April sometime, and everybody's going to be going, no, it's all
What
over,
is
dude.
wrong with Frank?
It's all
People
over.
ask that all the time, though. What's wrong with Frank?
Yeah, they
So
do.
it's not really anything new
It's
there,
kind
Bill.
of, I didn't say it. She said it.
Well, Cindy, there's nothing new there, Cindy. What's your favorite word?
Indubitably.
That's so terrible. Oh, Lord. No, it's a great word. Can you spell it? I can't.
Whatever you say, I'll believe you.
Yeah.
True. Nobody here's spell
Can you,
checking.
can you get 5 letters in?
Nobody's.
INDUBIT
Blah, 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 blah.
and Dubit ABLY. I'm pretty sure it's spelled phonetically.
Is it seriously?
I don't.
I
don't
can't
know.
spell to save my life, so I believe whatever you say.
As the kids say, elephant rhino.
I feel the pressure. Yes, all the kids say that, Frank.
ever heard of
Every
that?
child.
Oh,
Yes.
Elephant
You
rhino?
have children over
No.
your house,
Yes.
they all say that.
Yes,
right?
all the time.
I've
They-
never heard
That's all I hear.
elephant rhino.
Elephant rhino.
No.
That's because Frank is so pure and he does not cuss. So think in your head what that could sound like,
Yeah.
and that is what. Yes.
She's so
We'll have to-
confused.
Sierra's,
Yeah, you guys
Sierra's like,
know.
how do
As
people
soon as
survive?
as soon as I mute the mics, we'll tell you.
Oh, Lord. Thank you all for tuning in to the EEARSS Podcast. You can find us on all platforms by searching EEARSS, EEARSS, ears.org, alligatorrob.com. Take you to the same place. It's the same place. It just has 2 different web addresses. Goes to the same place. Thank you to our sponsor, Edna Wilson, with Celebrate RE/MAX Aerospace. And we'll catch you all next week. Bye-bye.